Well, he also later made a video talking about how Trump nuked the economy. So let's watch this one. I think it'll be good, right, guys?
What are my view on the tariffs? I don't know. I don't think anybody really knows. I think that it's massively destabilizing. I know people, I've had friends of mine contact me and they've said like, yeah, bro, like our company is like way worse. Like we have this massive issue. We're thinking about doing layoffs, right? So like I've had people tell me like that they're really bad.
Markets are open and you might want to turn away or maybe not. It's 2 days now. The news is tough out there now with the tariff announcement. Already in 5 minutes of trading, we're off about 2.5% from the Dow 30. So we're below 40,000 now for the first time in some time. I'd say about a year.
It is not unthinkable to me that this number might be a 2 within a year. I think it could go down by that much.
Market, the S&P 500 trading lower about 2.5 percentage points.
I don't think it will, by the way. Like, in my opinion.
I don't even know what to say to this, man. I think this thing could happen. I don't think it will happen, but I think it could. I think the economy could get a lot worse. That's what I think, but I don't think it'll happen.
I think that a lot of these tariffs are just brinkmanship, and it's not actually something that's going to happen in the long term. I think that a lot of people are expecting Trump to use these tariffs as negotiating chips and not necessarily like a solid foundation for policy. That's the reason. And like that's what I think people are thinking. But if he does keep them, I could see it going down substantially.
The NASDAQ is down even more at 3%. Yeah. So in the past 30 minutes, the president, who is now in Florida at Doral for the LIVE event, he posted this. So the many investors coming to the United States and investing massive amounts of money.
So what the NASDAQ's at right now, down 8.5% in the past 5 days. And dropping! And dropping!
My policies will never change. This is a great time to get rich, richer than ever before. I will remind you that China announced its retaliatory tariffs around 5 a.m. Eastern time today to the tune of 35% for American products going into China.
So what's your prediction for tomorrow? It's going to keep going. It's going to keep going.
So that was the latest move. We'll see how it bounces back and forth throughout the day and into the weekend as we move forward. All right, this from last night, Air Force One.
Dude, I should have bought puts immediately on the 3rd.
What we have a set of tariffs based on what they've been charging us. That's reciprocal. And those tariffs have come in and every country's called us. That's the beauty of what we do. We put ourselves in the driver's seat.
President Trump.
Yep, that's right.
Can you explain what a put is? The short version is you bet that the stock or the like SPY or like NASDAQ, you just bet that that thing that you're putting money into is going to go down. And you make money when it goes down. You're betting against that. So a short, basically, yeah. The way that it functions is a little different, but it's just, you're just gambling on red instead of green. And you make money if you win. The concern about shorting or with puts is that you can lose an infinite amount of money because a company can infinitely grow. Whereas if you're betting that a company will do well, it can only drop to a certain amount, right? But yeah, puts are with options so you can make more money faster, basically.
And the only problem
is lose money faster.
People think he's putting himself in the driver's seat and then driving directly into a wall. That's the issue. And now, is that wall the Great Wall of China? We're going to find out.
Somewhat downplaying the initial market reaction to his tariff plan. He's betting Americans will tolerate the short-term downturn if it means restoring manufacturing here in the U.S. Free Press columnist Batya Sargon writes that with Trump's Liberation Day plan, he's delivering on one of his campaign promises. She is our guest now. I'm sorry about that, but your name is unusual, but people are going to get to know you. You wrote a column.
I hate this woman. I hate her. MAGA leftist, I hate her.
Is getting a lot of attention. It said this: how did he steal the working class from the Democrats? Well, in the most obvious way, by purloining their pro-labor agenda. He has
the reason why is because you can't have a you can't have a party of people who constantly think that and talk down to voters. And I think this is the way that a lot of working class people believe, is that they view Democrats as ivory tower intellectuals that add basically no value to society. Whereas in a lot of cases, these are people that have like physical labor jobs and things that, provide some sort of tangible effect to society. And so when they're being talked down to by some graphic artist that, uses Photoshop for a living to make pretty pictures, and they get told,
What's with the random dig at artists, dude? That's really mean to the guy who makes your thumbnails, okay?
learn to code from this person, they're not going to appreciate that at all. You think they're smarter than yeah, you think you're smarter than me? Exactly. That's exactly the way they feel.
More to the point, Democrats haven't run on like a good populist position in like ages. To be clear, Republicans don't run on it either. They just pretend to run on it, right? This is everything that is happening right now under Trump's administration. That was always the plan. There's a chart that tracks all of the Project 2025 goals and how much has been achieved so far. This is it, project2025.observer. And you can see out of the 300 total goals, we're about 42% done. And it lists all of the objectives within all of these administrations or public services, and it shows how many of these things are getting completed. But again, Project 2025 was always the playbook. They're just doing it, and people are acting surprised. But, I mean, people on the left have tried to sound the alarm on Project 2025 in ages. For ages. Like, literally, it was so bad that Trump literally had to start saying, I don't know anything about Project 2025. I've never heard it in my life. And you can see here it lists like some of the goals. So for example, cutting the budget of the US aid. And it views the source on like what it says in Project 2025. Let me click this for you guys one sec. And it'll source the exact page of the Project 2025 where they talk about reducing US aid funding. The thing is, Republicans are too lazy to read, so they haven't bothered to look into Project 2025 at all. Here's a link for anyone who wants it, by the way. I'll send it to you guys. So they didn't understand that when people were saying that the Trump administration is going to be worse this time around because he's just going to follow the 2025 guidebook. He's doing that right now. And he's going to keep doing that. Like, why? It's not like this is very straightforward. This is super straightforward. Did Heritage Foundation put this out? Well, they didn't put out the tracker, but they put out, the Heritage Foundation worked heavily on the Project 2025 goals. So anyways.
Forced the border and is now instituting widespread tariffs, implementing a broad protectionist agenda committed to reshoring manufacturing and giving the working class a boost, the likes of which we haven't seen since the New Deal. Yeah. Tell me about your column and the reaction to it.
Do you know, it's so amazing. This morning on one of the liberal channels, I saw
is the most popular politics streamer.
I mean, you get a lot. It's very easy to farm and it would be very easy to grift to the Republican Party because you don't have to actually do any research. You can just say, this is common sense, guys, obviously. These are common sense policies. We need to bring everything here. We need to bring all the manufacturing here. But like,
Democrat congressman, and he was just sitting there saying, I have no idea why President Trump is doing this. They simply cannot understand why he is implementing the tariffs because the answer.
Well, the thing is, like, if you voted for Trump, this is very important. If you voted for Trump and you're upset about these tariffs, you kicked yourself in the dick.
Wait 1 second.
About these tariffs, you kicked yourself in the dick.
Wait, he's actually saying something true. This is the first correct thing he said all day so far.
He was going to do this the entire time. He said, guys, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this, guys. Guys, guess what I'm going to do? Boys, have you heard about my favorite word? So yeah, seriously. So anybody who's voted for Trump, who's complaining about these tariffs, you are so dumb.
Oh my God.
He said this from the beginning.
Dude, no wonder this video only has 500,000 views. People hated this video. Oh my God.
This is one of the only things Trump has been consistent on even. You can look at interviews from Trump in 1980 and he's talking about tariffs. Really? He's talking about even then.
The answer is simple. He is choosing Main Street over Wall Street. He has chosen to bet on the American working class instead of on the rich elites.
That's right. That's exactly it. And that's the reason why you see so many of these people on social media that are unhappy about it. It's because they're the ones that have a bunch of money in the lawsuit.
I mean, I'm pretty sure he recently retweeted or Truth Socialed a video which basically suggested that Trump's entire plan was to crash the economy. Because you have to understand in periods of time of financial distress and difficulty, like with COVID, it's an easy way for a massive wealth transfer to occur. Again, it happened in COVID. Most notably, or the most offensive thing that happened was grocery stores making insane amounts of profit. And guess what? They recognized that groceries are an inelastic good, which means you need it. It's not like a fucking yacht where you can just choose to not buy a yacht. You need food, you need water, you need housing. And so when supply chains stabilized, grocery store outlets just continued to charge a higher rate because why wouldn't they? And so the price of inelastic goods drastically dropped back to pre-COVID levels, but the price of food did not. I mean, Kroger had to admit after an investigation that they were price gouging. Like, what do you... Yeah, he tweeted this out, or sorry, truthed this out.
20% this month, but Trump is crashing the stock market by 20% this month, but he's doing it on purpose. And this is why Warren Buffett just said Trump is making the best economic moves he's seen in over 50 years. Now, here's the secret game he's playing, and it could make you rich. So why is he doing this? To push cash into treasuries, which forces the Fed to slash interest rates in May, and those lower rates give the Fed the ability to refinance trillions of debt very inexpensively.
Not true.
It also weakens the dollar and
yeah, I refuse to believe that Warren would say that. Okay. I don't believe that for a second.
Mortgage rates. Now, it's a wild chess move, but it's working. Now, you're probably wondering, what about his tariffs? Well, I'll tell you, it's a genius play. It actually forces companies to build here to dodge them. It also forces farmers to sell more of their products here in the U.S. to bring grocery prices way down. We've already seen this with eggs. Now, remember, 94% of all...
This doesn't even make any sense at all because egg prices were up because of bird flu, not for any other reason.
Stocks are owned only by 8% of Americans. So Trump, he's taking from the rich short term and handing it to the middle class through lower prices.
Omega lol. At what universe do we live in where like Trump is posting this video on his Truth Social that says, I am crashing the economy on purpose. And then people say, like Asmongold, well, really, I'm the Trump understander. It's all a bargaining move. He's not actually going to do this. When is someone going to make a video? This is trickle-down economics, but unironically. Oh, yeah, it's only a matter of time.
Or sorry, in the stock market. And I don't know why I said lawsuit. And I think they're permanent. He's talking about abolishing income tax under $150,000. Yes. And this is like almost all identity politics is, in my opinion, a...
Dude, Mao Zedong, what is this video?
Proxy for class warfare. And I think that this is one of...
Yes, this was what I was talking about. Buffett denies... Okay. Social media rumors after Trump shares wild claim that investor backs president crashing market. Dude, I know Warren Buffett woke up and he was pissed when he saw that. He's like, I would never back something so fucking stupid. Oh my God. He probably was just more upset that anything that dumb would be credited to him. The narrator falsely states, this is why Warren Buffett just said Trump is making the best economic moves he's seen in over 50 years. Buffett 94 didn't single out any specific post, but his conglomerate Berkshire Hathaway outright rejected all comments claimed to be made by him. There are reports currently circulating on social media, including Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, regarding comments allegedly made by Warren E. Buffett. All such reports are false, the company said in a statement Friday.
One of the first examples that you can really see of like this class warfare taking into effect. And I think that there
It must have been a different Warren. It was a different Warren, okay? It was the other one, the other really famous one.
A lot of people that are in like the Trump like Republican Party that are actually extremely far left with their economic policy, but only for Americans. Like, basically, they have no problem giving a lot of money to other people in America. But only for Americans. Like, basically, they have no problem giving a lot of money to other people in America. They just don't want it going to Mexico. And you're seeing these people come forward now. America first. Exactly. America first. I love this. Yes. And so that's the big difference.
This is astonishing because for 60 years, presidents on both sides of the aisle have sided with the rich over the hardest working Americans, the American working class.
That's exactly it. And I think that's the way people have seen it. And this is just a good little example. The wealthiest top 10% of households own over 85% of corporate stock. This is, again, what I was saying, is people are fighting back against this. And so... yeah, that's, well, no shit. Yeah, exactly. Funny how that works. It is.
And, you know, I used to have the Trump derangement syndrome. You know, I started out as a lefty, a liberal. I really, really couldn't understand the draw people had.
Are there really no good Sargons?
to this president, but over time I've come to see that he is simply the inheritor of the values that used to define the Democrats because they used to be the party of labor.
Was there a
Trump is the perfect embodiment of the id of the American working class. And he works in that behavior, in that way. And I think that's why he's so successful. That's why you have all of these
He's successful because he lies. That's why he's successful. Because he lies and he cheats.
and hillbillies that are voting
Oh, and also he's a Nepo baby.
for a guy that was born a multi-fucking-millionaire. And they can relate more to him. It's because he knows how to tap into that. He bankrupted 3 casinos. Yeah, I don't. What's your point? Like that he's bad at business? I don't think that doesn't have anything to do with it. 100% right, man. Yeah, that's what it is. What about all the business?
I heard that wrong. I absolutely heard that wrong.
Millionaire, and they can relate more to him. It's because he knows how to tap into that. He bankrupted 3 casinos. Yeah, I don't. What's your...
we gotta get a zoom in on this reaction. Hold up. Wait.
Because he can relate more to him. It's because he knows how to tap into that. He bankrupted 3 casinos. Yeah. I don't. What's your point? Like that he's bad at business? I don't think that doesn't have anything to do with it.
Oh my god, dude. Oh my god, that was too good. That was too good. Wow. What's the talking point on this one again? Shoot. He's well. What's your point, anyways? Huh? Yeah, that's what I thought.
100% right, man. Yeah, that's what it is. What about all the businesses he's ruined? I mean, what about it? What's the point? I don't even get it. What do you like? Okay, like that's not even what's being discussed.
a single moment?
It's not even what's being discussed, guys. It's not even what's being discussed. What are you guys, fucking stupid? He's too smart. He knew the casino is bad for people, so he let it get bankrupt. Oh, thanks, baby Dan.
That changed.
He's a fail son on horrible with money, and that's what makes him relatable.
So the cracks came a little at a time and then all at once. You know, the first was my rabbi, who's the best person I know, told me that he loved Trump. And I suddenly realized, well, I guess not every person who voted for him is a racist. Then I was doing a lot of reporting from the South on American...
No, I mean, you're either a self-serving piece of shit or you're dumb. And those are the only people that I think are voting for him. This is just the Sam Cedar Jubilee video again, where unless you are a millionaire, like a multimillionaire, billionaire, or an ethno-nationalist, like a religious fundamentalist ethno-nationalist, or one other group, and I'm forgetting the third one that he listed, voting for Trump was a stupid decision. So yeah, I mean, there are people who are racist that voted for him because they like that he's racist, and they're also racist, and then the rest of the people are just dumb. That's it. Kamala's fake black. Why does that matter? First of all, besides the fact that you're wrong, and I don't even know what the fuck fake black means, why does that even matter? Like, literally, how does that fit into the discussion of Trump voters? Some Trump voters are racist. What does that even, I don't even know. Are you trying to tell us that you're the racist Trump voter? I don't understand what the purpose of you saying this is. I guess we'll find out. I guess we'll find out if they say anything.
Polarization, and what I found was a lot more united.
Oh, they're saying that because they think that we like Kamala Harris? This is my favorite Trump voter. The type of voter that thinks that anyone who doesn't like Trump must love Kamala. Like, they can't fundamentally understand that you can dislike both, but also recognize that Trump is a worse decision. It reminds me of that chatter that came in yesterday and said, like, but yet Obama. And it's like, do you think we like Obama, you fucking imbecile? No.
Americans then divided us, even in this moment. It was really the elites who were polarized, but average Americans were very united. And then the kicker was, in 2018, I saw a Yale study. And in this Yale study, it found that
This is again what I was saying, is that average people do see it this way. They do look at it this way, and they think to themselves, like, okay, well, a lot of people like feel like outsourcing and like offshoring different types of like just development and business. This has come, the perspective of offshoring business and outsourcing things to other countries. The perspective that the average American has is that this has come at the expense of the worker and to the benefit of the, top 1%.
Yeah, and then they voted for the candidate that would make things worse. So who do you like? An idealistic, perfect candidate that doesn't exist? No, I like candidates like Bernie. I like candidates like AOC. Now, Bernie did run for presidency, and I voted for him in the primary, but like, if he can't win, he can't win, right? Basically, anyone that can call out the fucking scumbags in politics that are only trying to benefit themselves. I voted for Kamala, but I can't convince every single person to go and vote for her. Like, do you expect, like, my vote to have single-handedly been worth 10,000 votes? Like, I don't know what you want. Like, I can dislike Kamala, I can dislike Trump, and also recognize that Trump is a billion times worse, which is why I voted for her. But, like, I don't know what to tell you. When she runs on a bad policy and people don't want to vote for her because she's running on a bad policy, what the fuck am I supposed to do? How is me voting for her, which I did do, gonna fix her bad policy? Like, I can't do more. I don't know what you expect from me. I can't make her have a campaign that appeals to more people. What is this message? What is this? If you know the future and are certain these tariffs will not work for America, great. But if you don't know the future, like you didn't know the future when we were being lied to about the vaccines, maybe find some humility. What? Huh? Mom, come get me. I'm scared. Mom, come get me. I'm scared.
People felt it. Well, regardless of like what you like, oh, it did, it didn't. That's not the point. This is what people think. I've been saying this shit for like a decade. A lot of people have been saying this for a very long time. Yeah, it's a very, very common line of reasoning.
Difference between how white liberals and white conservatives talk to Black and Hispanic Americans. And here was the difference. White liberals dumb down their vocabulary.
They don't even know what the word computer is.
When they're talking to Black or Hispanic people.
And
white conservatives don't do that. They use a lower level of vocabulary. It's called presenting lower competence. They use smaller words when they're talking to Blacks and Hispanics than they do when they're talking to white people. This is white liberals. But white conservatives don't do that. And I remember looking at this and thinking, and we, the liberals, call them the racists? This is the most racist thing I ever heard. Yeah. And it was an indictment of the entire...
Yeah, they don't know where the DMV is. How can you expect them to get an ID? They can't find a DMV.
That's not the argument about getting IDs and voter registration. That's not the argument. The argument is not that people can't find the DMV. It's that most people don't want to go to the DMV and wait for fucking hours.
DMV.
And the most transparent grift award goes to...
progressive worldview, which is based on this idea that minorities require the largesse and the beneficence of white progressives in order to thrive. And that was really a moment where
the reason why they have that thinking is because it puts them in the virtuous position that they want to be in. It's not because it's true. It's simply because their worldview is built around them being the savior so they can feel good about themselves.
Wow, there's something really wrong with the left as it is, and came to see that it was President Trump who wanted to implement agenda items that would restore dignity to working class Americans. That's what this entire agenda is about. That's what these tariffs are about.
And so, do you think that others are coming around to this opinion? Like, obviously you hear about feedback.
Yeah, you're not going to get people that are working class to think that these tariffs are bad if you tell them that, well, stocks are going down. They don't care about stocks.
They're mad because things are going to get more expensive and they're going to lose their jobs. Then they already dislike them. They don't dislike them because of the stocks, dude.
They care about, like, groceries. They don't have stocks.
From a lot of people.
So the response to my Free Press column has been overwhelming. And I actually wanted to ask you, Dana, why do you think that is? Why do you think that this idea of a MAGA lefty is resonating so much with so many conservatives?
Well, I don't think it's that surprising.
Well, it's not at all. And this is at least, like, for me, this is the way that at least I feel. Like, I'm like very far left with economic policy. Like, I'm universal basic income. I mean, can you be any more left?
I'm against universal basic income. Can you be any more left? Okay, he must be sarcastic. He must be being sarcastic.
Than that. And so, like, but I only want it for Americans. Like, basically, I want the government to only act in the best interest of, like, our citizens.
He said he's in favor? Wait, I'm sorry.
Well, see,
go
like,
back.
I'm universal basic income. Like, for me, this is the way that at least I feel. Like I'm like very far left with economic policy. Like I'm universal basic income. I mean, can you be
Oh, okay. It was just like garbled. It sounded like against, but he said
very far left with economic policy? Like I'm universal basic income.
universal basic income, which sounded to me like I'm against universal basic income. Okay, okay. All right. He is I am universal basic income.
Can you be any more left? And
yes, you can be more left than universal basic income. That is actually a libertarian position. In the way that we present it, where you have to cut all social safety nets and then give people a flat rate, that's closer to like libertarian Yang presentation than it is left-leaning positions. Left-leaning positions suggest that people should have all of their needs already met, such that they don't need universal basic income. But whatever.
so like, but I only want it for Americans. Like basically, I want the government to only act in the best interest of like our citizens and never do anything that could compromise the well-being of our citizens for the best interests of other citizens and other people in other countries. So like no migrants, no unnecessary immigration, no foreign payments, no foreign aid, get rid of all of that and make sure that we're getting, you know, domestic aid and helping those people, right? That should be that. And that's the way that I feel. That's my value system. What is an American? A citizen of America. So a person who lives in America, who is a citizen of the country that can legally vote. So if you've come here on a green card, you're not really an American. If you've come here illegally, you're not really an American. If you're visiting, you're not really an American. What I'm talking about are people that are citizens of the country. Yeah, kids aren't American? What? I mean, kids, of course, kids would be citizens. What do you mean? All countries should be like that? Said, yeah, the fact you had to ask that question. Yeah, Chatter is an American. Yeah, basically, right? Oh, you said vote? Well, yeah, it's a collection of things.
Maybe when he said he was on the left, yeah, maybe you're right, Chad. Maybe he meant that he's a national socialist. Maybe that's what he meant when he said that he's on the left.
Because we are living through a political realignment. And when you go through a realignment, it takes 10 to 15, 20 years for it to happen. And so to me, I think it's just maybe a little bit of the natural order of things. And partly because I don't think it's that presidents didn't care about the working class. I do think a lot of it had to do with identity politics and the woke liberalism and also trying to take rights away from parents. And that has been a big issue. So anyway, that's my 2 cents. You have 2 cents?
You need to write a piece for the Free Press. But you wear your MAGA lefty label now with pride.
I do.
Thanks for sharing.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you guys so much.
Interesting
I don't like this woman. She gives me really bad vibes.
perspective.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I'm Steve Deuce.
I mean, I feel like
I think honestly for me, it's that she's got kind of like the gamer gun, which immediately throws me off. Like she's kind of repping I can't even really do it correctly. But you see what I mean? She's like, I can't really, she does it much better than I do it. She does it much better than I can do it.
Your MAGA lefty label now with pride.
I do.
Thanks for sharing.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you guys so
it's
much.
interesting
God bless you.
perspective.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I'm Steve Deuce.
I mean, I feel like that's pretty much the way that a lot of people feel. And, again, arguing from the perspective of like, oh, taxes are really high or something like that, stocks are down. Oh, like people don't give a
I like how Fox News has been doing nothing but talking about how the Dow is down and the stocks are down and he's the worst president in the world because Biden is the worst president in the world because the stocks are down. I mean, Trump literally said if the Dow drops 500 points in a day, you should immediately be fired. And then it proceeded to drop, 1,000 points in a day? 2,000 points in a day?
shit about that. They're not going to care about that one way or another because they don't have stocks in a lot of cases. The prices of everything, specifically groceries, are going to go up like 2x. We'll have to wait and see. I think so. I think there's a good chance that could happen. Yeah, it could go up a lot. It's tougher than straw manning. Building up your opponent's argument to make it as strong as possible, the better than they can.
He meant if it dropped by exactly 500. Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Oh, so I'm defending it. Well, I'm not really defending it or not. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen with the tariffs. I mean, I'll say that the tariffs are massively destabilizing, and of course, people are really worried about them. And I can see why they're worried. I think it makes a lot of sense.
And then it cuts off. Excellent. We don't need any more. Oh, God, dude. Oh, my God. It's so fucked up, too, because, you don't have to listen to my opinion. You don't have to listen to, Asmongold's opinion. You can go listen to how economists, fucking right-wing economists, what they have to say about things like this. But I know what you guys are thinking. Hey, at least the mold's